I'm pretty sure hearing that put some of y'all in a fight or flight mode, huh? Anyway, today I'm playing Wizard101, and yes, I remember my username from an account that's older than a decade. And today I'm going to be doing a challenge that has been done again and again, but what makes my video a bit different than theirs is I've never finished the main story in this game. That's right, small child me didn't save enough of my birthday money to buy crowns, because you know, I was not getting a membership with my parents' card information, so I never made it to Dragonspire or defeated Malistaire. I will be doing this playing the minions only challenge, and I'll show some of the rules I've written so far, and I will reference them throughout the video. Anyway, for this run, it makes sense to be a myth wizard. Maybe I do this challenge again in the future with a different class. We'll see. Also, it's kind of weird seeing these new character customization selections for your wizard, but this is the girl I made, and I wanted the name to be kind of close to Moon's Boom, and the closest thing I got was Moon Bloom, which sounds like a knockoff version of me, which, you know, kind of liking it. Also chose Tatiana as a name since it's my go-to first name for the other wizards I've made. After skipping the tutorial, I was sent to Unicorn Way.
Welcome to Unicorn Way.
And immediately went to the dorms to collect an important thing needed to progress the story a bit. One good thing about remembering my old account is that I have all my pets, including this ghost dragon named Jackson. I remember getting him sometime around Halloween in the 2010s, and I thought his spell Animate was really cool. This spell is going to be my source of progressing the story and leveling up to eventually be able to use myth minions. So I went back to Unicorn Way and acquired my first hit, and off I went to defeat some ghosts. I like that they added this fog into Unicorn Way, and it makes it look a lot more graveyardy. So Jackson carried me through a lot of these fights while doing a little dance as well. And since I haven't played the game in a while, it took some time to load minion assets, and when summoning minions for the first time, they looked a lot like the wooden puppets until they rendered in. I got tired of seeing all these useless spells in my deck, so I took out a few, and I decided to keep the beginner wand on because it had this healing spell which I might need. So with the animate spell, I mostly summoned a ghost. I know that this can summon some other stuff depending on how many pips I have. I'll look into it and I'll show a screenshot so y'all can also see. And if there are any particular minions you'd like to see in a fight, comment below and I could try to summon that particular thing in another video. Also took advantage of another spell that Jackson has, which is Plague. I didn't need it in this moment, but it's good to know that I have some sort of protection against enemies. And y'all, these ghosts stay using blades to boost their attacks, and I can't complain because they're literally carrying me. I would also like to share a moment on Unicorn Way where I was using a healing spell with a 90% accuracy and it decided to fizzle. It was a bit upsetting, but my ghost minion made me feel better by promoting Dark Fairy on Dark Fairy violence. I also think it's funny how this ghost minion goes for the overkill. Like, for what purpose do you need to summon a bull in Unicorn Way? I continue going through the main quest.
Hello! Well, the skeletal pirates do seem to be concentrated around the old archives.
And eventually made it to Rattlebones. And here's the reason why I got rid of those Bloodback cards, because as you can see, I don't even have a summon card available in my hand. So the first round I'm not able to summon, which is not the best when fighting against multiple enemies because they're just gonna spam attacks on me, especially these low level ones. Like, look at that. They immediately going straight for the attacks. We got Rattlebone summoning a Storm Snake, and then we got this Dark Fairy summoning a Firecat. So, and with me having less than 500 health, it was looking pretty troubling at first. But after summoning my dude over here, the damage I took became less, just because he was able to take out enemies one at a time. But even though he took out one enemy, I still had them attacking me because I guess I'm just the main character here. After using some healing spells on myself, and then of course Jackson can also summon some healing things for me as well. The match became a whole lot easier and I was able to win. And here goes Ghost Dude right here, getting that final hit with a 35% plus blade. After that, I completed Unicorn Way.
The darkness plaguing Unicorn Way is lifting. Look!
I then went to talk to Ambrose and was given my first myth minion. And on the way to introduce myself to the professors, it was definitely different than what I was used to. They were all standing out there.
Menacingly!
After talking to all the professors, I talked to mine, Cyrus, and even though he gave me the spell to like fight with a troll, I was like,
nah,
Yeah.
I'ma do my own thing.
Then do your own thing over there.
Nah,
You're on contract to Space Dude.
I'ma do my own thing.
also, what's up with Zeus here? Is this like an event, or does he just chill over here? I don't know. To continue the story, I went to Ambrose, and since I enrolled, he gave this pixie healing spell and immediately sent me off to fight more enemies.
Go to Old Town and talk to Sergeant Muldoon immediately. We must set things right and discover Malastaire's goal in all this.
Now what? Oh, it's a pet.
Yeah, but before I do all that, I had to do some pet
Find out
missions.
what's happening in that tower.
So I went to the tower, I summoned a new minion, which is the skeleton guy. He'll be rendering in a bit. And while I took a whole lot of damage this first round, this skeleton decides to skip. But I was able to heal, and he made up for things by, you know, promoting this goal-on-goal violence. We also met Penny Dreadful in this tower.
Into that kennel, but how?
We saved a few animals,
I've got a
and we
alarming
moved
report.
on to
Cyclops
the
Lane
3
and
places
Triton
connected
Avenue,
to
and I
Old
haven't heard
Town.
anything.
After talking to Sergeant
Right.
Muldoon about the
Storm
events
Gate.
happening in Cyclops
can't be
Lane,
right.
Triton Avenue,
Anyway,
and Firecat
find the
Alley,
kid on
the first place I
Cyclops
decided to
Lane
go
and,
to
well,
was Cyclops
help them.
Lane.
Professor
And there,
Jakes
I
is
learned
your
about
assistant.
teleporters,
Hurry,
which makes
this
me
way.
happy
We can
due
talk
to the
safely
fact
over
that
here.
a lot of Wizard101 involves running around.
Look there, Wizard. Do you see that device? It's a teleporter.
I then met up with Nolan, and I remembered why I wasn't a big fan of this guy.
Lazy layabouts just ran off.
He gave me the quest to defeat some trolls, so off I went to try out my Golem Minion spell. So here's my wooden puppet dude. He had less health than my ghost friend, but he was pretty cool as well. He basically just uses like level 1 attacks, but it's very helpful in later fights. After defeating some trolls, it was time for me to do one of those running around missions, so Nolan told me I needed to talk to Cyrus. I talked to Cyrus and he wanted me to talk to some dude in the shopping district. When I went to talk to the guy in the shopping district, I do not remember being told that Malastair is related to Cyrus, or maybe I just don't remember the story as well. I mean, they do look alike.
Yo, Death Professor Malastair, Roy. That's his brother.
After talking to that guy, I had to go back to Cyrus. Like, I get it, the owl wants to teach me about the teleporting mechanic of the game, but do I really gotta do all this running around? And of course, we weren't done running around and talking to people because Cyrus wanted me to talk to Ambrose. Just for Ambrose to tell me, actually, go back to Cyrus.
You're still here?
I don't want to be here. And then, to finally end all this madness, I went from Cyrus and I went to check back in with Nolan. And honestly, at the end of this, I was like, couldn't we like send some magic emails or something? I feel like that would have been more efficient than whatever I was doing. So I went off to fight some Cyclopses, or as Nolan puts it. Also, this is the first time that an enemy actually attacks my minion, because my minion was doing a lot of damage on him. And with my wooden puppet only having 45 life, any attack is like a one-shot to him. So I decided to finish this fight off with a death minion, and since I had 4 pips, I summoned something new. So say hello to Grave Digging Guy. So I thought it was really nice he wanted to support me with a blade here, but like, Dude, you're not going with the minion only run, you're trying to make me fight. But eventually you guys act together, realized I was not going to be helping him out, and he defeated the enemy. I was then directed to go into the dark cave and rescue some students.
You have to get us out of here.
And in order to do that, I had to defeat some of these rotting fodders. So my strategy was basically the same as any other fight. Get rid of these attack cards, keep any of the healing or minion cards, and then let the minions do all the work. So I'll skip over this fight. And look, there's the students I saved.
Everyone safe? Good. Now we need to finish the job the trolls and Warhorn started. We need to defeat General Achilles.
But before defeating General Achilles, I had to fight some of these Warhorns. So I went in and I found out that Achilles is being controlled by some kind of possessed rabbit. Honestly, don't ask me the plot of this. And this is the first time of the run that I actually died. But I came back for my second attempt, and I was hoping I was going to be luckier after I saw this first fizzle, and yeah, wasn't too lucky there. Well, you know what they say, third time's the charm, right? Oh, he's aiming for the wooden minion? Okay, I wonder how much attack this does. I mean, it can't be too much, right? Ooh, that's a lot of damage. Better him than me though, right? Anyway, time for a new minion. I decided to summon another puppet dude because they attack so much that the enemy AI decides to like attack them like they've had enough. And if I had summoned a death minion with the amount of pips that I had, then they probably would have taken some time to set up with blades and stuff, which is not what I need right now. But it was really good to see that the minion had defeated General Achilles. And in no time at all, he also defeated his minion. And with that, Cyclops Lane was completed.
So you brought Achilles to here.
I vow I will honor my word and restore order to this street.
I then moved on to Triton Avenue and was tasked to defeat some wooden puppet dudes, and you know, it turned into some of the most NPC looking battles ever. While I was talking to Arthur, I realized that there was an echo. Also, I remember having to do a few things in order to save his sister Susie. Before talking to Duncan, I got this notification from Cyrus after I leveled up. I know that I had put in the rules of this challenge to focus mostly on the main quest, but I gotta do the school-related missions. I knew this one would have summoned a unicorn since I have one other low-leveled myth wizard already. And Cyrus also gave me a new minion card from doing this task. So I went back to Triton Avenue to talk to Duncan, and dude here is such a Malastare glazer, like, you really need to chill out with this.
Malastare was a great man, the greatest necromancer of this age. Can we talk about this later? My sister's lost out there.
So I went out to do some sister rescue related missions, and got to try out my new minion card. So with one pip, this spell summons a troll defender that looks like this and has 150 life. He's able to use the troll spell, so he's more advanced than, let's say, our wooden puppet dude from earlier. Continuing with the missions, I had to defeat some rotting fodders, and I summoned the wooden puppet for the first turn. And then I decided to also try to summon the troll to fight alongside the wooden dude. But yeah, when I did that, it turns out you can only summon one minion at a time, unless you do like some monsterology or something like that. Anyway, with 2 pips, the spell summons the Troll Guardian, which has 300 life, And on top of using the same spells as the 1 pip troll, they are also able to use myth traps to boost the damage that they do. I also decided to see what the 3 pip troll is like. And this right here is the Troll Brute, which looks a lot like the Troll Guardian, but this one has 450 life. So on top of being able to use the spells of the previous trolls, this one also has the ability to use the Cyclops spell, which, like, dang, I can't even use that. I'm not a high enough level to use that, so it was cool to see. I went back to Duncan after getting some things that he needed and was told that Susie is close by. But before saving her, I became a high enough level to get the Myth Trap card myself, so I could be a bit more useful helping my minions. I eventually learned about the Harvest Lord and how he kidnapped Susie. So this was another tower I had to lock in at. And yeah, you can tell by the seconds counting down.
Ah, another soul to harvest.
Help!
So what I did this match was use the wooden puppet at first and save up enough pips so that I can summon one of the higher level trolls. Even though I could have summoned the troll here, I decided to let the wooden puppet dude get more hits in. Because that's a really good thing. And also one of the reasons why I summoned the wooden puppet dude here is because he is like constantly attacking, which is super helpful because once the enemy is like getting hit enough by the minion, they decided to actually attack the minions. So like as you can see here, the wooden puppet is constantly attacking the Harvest Lord right here. And the Harvest Lord decides to actually strike back. He said enough's enough. So after the wooden puppet dude was defeated, I summoned the Troll Brute, and I focused on using traps to support his attacks. Because unlike the wooden puppet dudes, these trolls only use myth spells. And yes, minions fizzle too, and yes, it's just as frustrating as when I fizzle. So the Troll Brute was able to defeat the Harvest Lord. And since I had all these pips, I decided to see what Jackson would summon with this many pips. Just to finish off the fight, because why not? And I got this Banshee lady. So she knew the Plague spell, which is one that I also like to use with Jackson as well. She can also use death traps and blades. So y'all, she did all that death spell setting up for like 3 rounds in a row just to summon a fire elf that would kill the rotted father. No death spells were used by this Banshee in this entire fight at all. I thought that was funny.
I am beaten, but my master's grand design is nearly complete. Triton Avenue is doomed.
So after this interaction, I casually stopped Triton Avenue from blowing up, brought Susie back to her brother, and completed Triton Avenue.
The Harvest Lord has been driven back into the shadows, and the storm energy is flowing again.
I then moved on to the last street connected to Old Town, which is Firecat Alley.
Sergeant Muldoon sent you. I need all the help I can get.
I had to fight more wooden puppets, and stopped the recording soon after this mission because, like, you know, the echo wasn't fixed, so I had to restart OBS to, like, make things sound better. Also, was this character's name always Lizzo, or is this a reference? I mean, I know they got the Jonas Brothers trapped in here somewhere. Anyway, Firecat Alley is all about saving the elves from mind control, and to do this, we gotta find a witch and get her to help us out.
You're a wizard. Do I know where the old witch is?
And since I've already shown my new minion card, there isn't really much more to share about the minions, so I'll be skipping over some of the fights unless something new or interesting happens. Like how this troll decides to skip his first turn. Now why'd he do that? And I found out soon enough that he was doing that to save up pips to use in Cyclops. So originally I thought they couldn't use this, but looks like they can. So while I was editing this video, I decided to look up what spells that they had, and I saw this. And I'll also go ahead and show the Troll Guardian and Troll Brute spells as well. At first I thought that these minions only use mist spells, but it turns out they know some other spells as well. I eventually made it to the witch Greta and went out to collect some supplies needed to help reverse the curse on the elves. So I collected some magma from Magma Men. And I went to the dark cave to collect a special stone from a rotting fodder.
Ah, good. This Herkimer stone should work nicely to record Bastilla's wail. You'll just need to get Bastilla mad enough to let out a good shriek.
After some of that, I was sent to another tower that I had to lock in at.
At last! I've been eagerly awaiting a review of the performance I gave for the Fire Elves.
And during this fight, I realized soon enough that I could easily die against two opponents with 400 HP left. Like, I had forgotten the existence of the Firebird card, even though I was a fire wizard on like one of my first playthroughs. So yeah, seeing that I had like 100 HP left, I could have easily died here, but the boss was being silly and decided to use a 1-pip spell against me. So I took that opportunity to avoid death and to do some healing spells. Also, one thing to note about the minions is that whenever you're fighting a boss that has a henchman, even if the boss isn't on the first position, the minion tends to aim for the boss first. Like in this case where Bastilla is in the second position, the minion seems to attack her only. So my minion was able to defeat both Bastilla and her elf friend. We got her shriek and the rest of the supplies that the witch needed to make the reverse curse. I went back to the witch, and this was another one of those why am I doing all of this kind of quest. Like, I gathered all the supplies for you to help, but then you make it so I have to set up the table to craft the things, and then you tell me to craft the thing. But the thing about it is, like, crafting just is interact with the table. There's nothing special about me being the one creating the potion. And then all this stuff also happened at our house, and it's like, you know what? Let me just make this potion and skip to the big boss in Firecat Alley. So knowing this dude can use Firebird, I decided to make sure to put the sprite as a treasure card just in case I needed it. So I started out by summoning the wooden puppet dude to distract the enemy. And the wooden puppet dude did his job well. So here's him attacking, and dude is like, enough's enough. And he decided to summon this on my minion. Like, geez, that could have been me right there. Afterwards, I summoned the brute troll, and thanks to all the work that the wooden puppet did, it was an easy win for him. And I also wanted to take a second to show how lucky this Magma Man is. As you can see, it looks like he's gonna take a lot of damage here. And he does, definitely. And it looks like all his health's gone, which it should be, but you can tell he has 1 HP left. And for some reason the troll's like, I think I need to use a trap to finish off the fight. So that's why there's 2 traps on the Magma Man now. But he eventually ended him. After defeating the Magma Man and breaking Alicane from the curse, Firecat Alley was completed.
My people from the grip of this dreadful banshee's curse?
I went to Ambrose to tell him about all the great work I did, and he gave me more Malistaire lore and mentioned how he was looking for the Order of the Fang, which sounds a lot like an evil organization in a martial arts movie.
A lost sect with their own secrets.
I talked to the large tree in Ravenwood, and he told me that Malistaire took his eye and directed me to go to Old Town to fight a ghost named Valgaze. This fight was nowhere near as difficult as some of the previous bosses, so here's my minion just killing the main guy, Valgaze, right here. And after we had killed him again, I guess since he's a ghost, he told us about his master Nightshade, and I remember that as being like one of the most difficult bosses for me to fight as a kid. So off we are to fight Nightshade.
Jeepers, don't sneak up on people.
Oh yeah, and this game also makes a Scooby-Doo reference. And literally her only reason, at least in the main quest, is just to tell us where Nightshade is in the tower.
That big tower down the way.
So after getting to the tower, I realized this is the last time I'm going to be logging in for this video.
You truly think to face me, wizard? Do you have any concept of what I am? No mere ghost lost in the ether. I am darkness.
So I ran out into the fight, and seeing that my turn was second meant that I was at a disadvantage. Just because you can't really react to what your enemy does if you're the one who has to wait for them to do it first. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I'm at a disadvantage here. And for some reason, Nightshade is like programmed to frustrate you for some reason. Like, he's using this trap on me, he's getting this big hit on me. It makes you want to just heal up automatically. And Nightshade and his minion could have easily killed me the next round, but they decided to attack my minion instead. So I had time to heal up. So I summoned a new Guardian Troll minion, and I figured that, you know, they can't easily be defeated by Nightshade because, you know, they can last more than one hit. But then Nightshade had to pull this draining spell out, which not only takes away like half the life of my troll, but it also heals him in the process. And before this fight, no boss had ever healed themselves. So when this was introduced to me as a kid, I was like, is this dude supposed to be defeated? Is he one of those you can't defeat this kind of boss? And so here's my minion over here trying to react to being hurt so much and using a sprite on themselves, but even they couldn't react properly to Nightshade's attacks. And so Nightshade decides to do this funny thing, this do it again kind of mindset, and he takes away the other half of my Guardian Troll's life. And not too long after that, you see I'm trying to heal myself, hoping they pass their turns, and yeah, I was defeated. And then I was defeated once again. And each of those times, I would be the one to go second in the fight. Now I thought this fight had an interesting start because my minion put a trap card on the henchman, which I hadn't seen so far in my playthrough. He ended up attacking the henchman first and everything. I was like, wow, look at you go. Well, I was cheering him on until I was defeated, of course. And hey, I'll just put this one in here as well. Now let me tell y'all about this match. I was happy because I got to go first, so I summoned the troll, ended up putting a mid trap on him, I had a fairy on standby. I thought it was really weird. They both skipped their first turn. I was like, okay. Then Nightshade attacked me with this. And I was like, okay, that's fine. That's whatever. And his henchman skipped again. That's weird. But I shouldn't heal now since I got like 500 health left, and I should be fine after another hit, right? Look, my troll's attacking and everything's getting good hits in. Okay, I see Nightshade hits me with this. I'm like, okay, I should probably heal after this. But then his henchman used this spell. I was like, how much damage does this do again? It does enough damage. That's how much. Like, this minion literally didn't fight the entire match just to save up enough pips to be a hater to me specifically. So after that match, I had to take a little bit of a break from the game.
3:28 a.m.
Okay, y'all, so I forgot to do some recording until like halfway through this match, so y'all just gonna have to believe me when I say that I'm very surprised that my minions were able to defeat the henchmen, not gonna lie. But you're gonna have to believe that they're the ones who defeated them. Also, one thing that I did that was different compared to the other matches is I decided to actually use my skill points at the School of Life to get the Legend Shield, which will help protect me against powerful death spells. Also swapped some of my equipment in my inventory that I had collected throughout these other quests, knowing that I don't really need all the buff stuff, but I would like to have extra health. So Nightshade definitely went through a few of my minions this match, yet for some reason he never used the goal on himself, which honestly made this fight a whole lot easier. Like, he just wasn't healing himself for some reason. So I'm actually kind of mad how much easier this match was compared to just the previous few matches that I had against him. So I went back to Ambrose. I found Malister in the old deaf school and was directed to go to Krakotopia, which is something that I would have to save for another time. Well, thanks everyone for watching, and until next time, see you later.